Prayer has shaped civilizations, sparked revolutions, and carried countless people through life's darkest moments. But is it just tradition, or does it actually do something? Welcome to Wrestling with God. Big questions, honest conversations. I'm Cliff Sims, and if you've ever wondered whether prayer actually does anything, or if it's just a spiritual placebo, this episode is for you. We're tackling the big questions. How has prayer shaped human history? What does the Bible really say about how prayer functions? And how do we make sense of unanswered prayers? Let's break it down. Let's be real. Almost everyone has prayed at some point, even people who aren't religious. There's just something instinctive about it. Studies show that during crisis, illness, loss, disaster, even skeptics turn to prayer. It's almost like hardwired hope. But here's the tension. Some people pray and swear by miraculous answers. Others pray and feel like they're just talking to the ceiling. And for many, it's somewhere in between. So why do we keep doing it? Is it just comfort, a coping mechanism, or is there something deeper? Well, let's take a step back, way back. Prayer isn't just a Christian thing or even a religious thing. It's deeply woven into human history. Consider ancient civilizations. In ancient Mesopotamia, prayers were written on clay tablets as early as 2000 BC. Often directed to gods or for protection and favor. Egyptian texts, they show prayers offered to deities like Ra and Osiris, focusing on guidance and the afterlife. Although we're just talking about recorded history here, let's be honest, I think we can probably say that the human species has always prayed. I'd say that prayers got misdirected along the way, but even so. How about Jewish roots? Consider that. The Hebrew Bible is rich with prayers. From Abraham's intercessions to David's psalms of praise and lament, Jewish prayers, they became more structured after the destruction of the Second Temple, leading to the development of daily prayers like the Shema or the Amidah. 3. Christian tradition. Early Christians adapted Jewish prayers and introduced new forms like the Lord's Prayer, taught by Jesus as a model. Over centuries, prayer evolved from monastic chants to personal devotions and public liturgies. Okay, how about a global perspective? In Islam, prayer, or shalat, is one of the 5 pillars, performed 5 times a day. Hinduism, it incorporates mantras, while Buddhism emphasizes meditative prayer from mindfulness and compassion. Prayer has always been more than just asking for things. It's been about connection, purpose, and seeking meaning. And across cultures, people have wrestled with the same questions. Does this actually work? And why do we keep doing it? Okay, history shows us that prayer is universal, but what does the Bible say prayer is and how it works? Okay, first, prayer is a relationship, not transaction. A lot of people approach prayer like a vending machine, right? You insert a request, you expect a result, but Scripture paints a different picture. In Luke 11, when Jesus teaches the Lord's Prayer, it's about aligning with God's will, not bending God to ours. But what about the promises? Verses like Matthew chapter 7, verse 7, it says, "Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you." Sounds pretty straightforward, right? But context matters. It's not a blank check. It's about seeking God's will, not just our wish list. Okay, 3, prayers as formation. The Bible often shows prayer as more about changing us than changing God. Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 through 7 talks about prayer leading to peace, not always answers. So is prayer about outcomes? Yes, but it's also about the process, about being shaped, not just about getting stuff. Let's not dodge this question. What about when prayer feels like it fails? You pray for healing and the person still dies. You pray for a relationship to heal and it falls apart. You pray for peace and the war still rages. Okay, it's hard. And it's a major reason why some people walk away from faith. But here's something to wrestle with. Even in the Bible, people faced unanswered prayers. In 2 Corinthians 12, Paul talks about his thorn in the flesh. He begged God 3 times to take it away. God's response, "My grace is sufficient for you." Even Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, he prayed, "Take this cup from me." The cup wasn't taken, but something bigger was accomplished through it. It's not satisfying as a clean answer, but it points to this. Prayer isn't always about avoiding pain or getting what we want. Sometimes it's about enduring with purpose. Let me share a couple of quick stories. I know someone who prayed for healing from cancer, and they got it. Against all odds, doctors called it a miracle. I know another who prayed just as hard with just as much faith, and they didn't make it. Okay, why the difference? I don't know. But both families said that prayer carried them through hope, through grief, through healing, and through loss. Prayer isn't always about the what, it's often about the who. It's about connection with God and with others, and even with yourself in a deeper way. All right, so let's wrap it up. We are a praying people. Prayer has been a part of human history across cultures and faiths. The Bible frames prayer as relationship and formation, not just request and result. Unanswered prayers aren't proof that prayer doesn't work, but they do force us to wrestle with deeper questions about God's will, purpose, and presence. So, does prayer actually work? Maybe it depends on what you expect. If you see it as a cosmic vending machine, you're probably going to be disappointed. But if prayer is about relationship, transformation, and trust, even when there's no easy answer, then yes, it works in ways that we often don't expect. And maybe that's the point. Well, thanks for hanging out with me on this episode of Wrestling with God. If this sparked something in you, questions, frustrations, or hope, share it with someone who's been wrestling with prayer too. Got thoughts or stories about prayer? Hey, send them my way. I'd love to hear them. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep wrestling with God. I'm Cliff Sims, and you can find me at riverchurchdecatur.com. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next episode.